Hey guys, what's up and welcome to our online service. We want to thank you guys for tuning in with us today. If you would, we're going to prepare our hearts for worship in this time as we get ready to serve together. God, we thank you for this day, God. God, as we come to you, God, let us set aside the distractions in our world today, God, that we can focus on you. God, because let's not limit you to this building, God, but beyond that, God, you're so much bigger than we give you credit for. God, we believe you're in control today, God. Let us show that through our worship. God, let us lift our voices today, God, just in praise to you. And we just thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemy. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight for me. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, you're gonna hear my praises roar from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. I raise a hallelujah. Everything inside of me. I raise a hallelujah. I will watch the darkness flee. I raise a hallelujah in the middle of the mystery. I raise a hallelujah. You lost your hold on me. Sing it out. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, you're gonna hear my praises roar from the ashes. Hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. Let's lift our voices, church. Sing a little louder. 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 Oh, sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. Presence of my enemy. Sing a little louder. Louder than the unbelief. Sing a little louder. Surely my God, the strength of my soul. Your love defends me. Your love defends me. And when I feel like I'm all alone, your love defends me. Your love defends me. Day after day, night after night, I will remember you with me in this fight. Oh, the battle, it rages on, the war's already won. Come on, church, I know the war is already won. But surely my God is the strength of my soul. Your love defends me. Your love defends me. And when I feel like I'm all alone, your love defends me. Your love defends me. We sing hallelujah. You're my portion, my salvation. Hallelujah. Surely my God is the strength of my soul. Your love defends me. Your love defends me. And when I feel like I'm all alone, your love defends me. Your love defends me. Surely my God, the strength of my soul. Your love defends me.
Hey, well, good morning, and thank you so much for being part of our online worship experience. My name is Tim. I'm the pastor here at Summit Weisberg, and if this is your first time checking us out and being part of our worship experience, you're an honored guest with us. And if you would you just go ahead and just leave remarks in the comments below. We have a free gift that we would love to send you. I was looking at surveys that asked a question: what are the top 10 things that people wanted most in life? And the answers range from happiness to money to freedom to joy to balance and passion. But one answer appeared in every one that I looked at, and it was usually in the top 4 that people had, and that's peace. So since peace is so important, I wanted to double check if this was true, so I went to Google. Because if it's online, it has to be true, right? So I searched how to find peace, and it gave me 978 million results. Every one of us is searching for peace in our lives. If you look at the definition of peace, it has multiple meanings. It can be absence of conflict, state of tranquility or quiet, harmony in personal relations, or freedom from oppressive or thoughts of emotions. But when the Bible talks about peace, it's not just about external peace, things around us, or dealing with the internal issues either. It's part of it, but it's not all of it. Now, when the Bible talks about peace, it's peace that transcends at the soul level, that affects our body, mind, and soul. That as followers of Jesus, that we can experience peace that's not influenced or determined by our situations or circumstances. So how can we experience peace in uncertainty and when we face the unknown? So if you would join me, go ahead and grab your Bible or turn your device to Psalm 23. We're going to look at verses 1 through 4 this morning. Now, Psalm 23 is the most familiar of all the Psalms. It's on t-shirts and coffee mugs, and if you've been to a funeral, you've more likely heard it there. See, here's the problem with familiar text. They're familiar. And so when we read it, we kind of skim over it because we've read it before. Or when we hear it, we kind of tune it out because we already know it. And we don't let it truly speak to us and bear the weight that it has for us. See, I believe more than ever now that this text not only speaks directly to what we're experiencing, but it shows how actually we can experience peace regardless of what we face in this life. So we're going to look at Psalm 23, verses 1 through 4. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I need to have a routine in my life. I just function better. And there's a lot of reasons. It helps me stay focused and productive, but most importantly, it keeps me sane. Being in recovery from drugs, it is one of the biggest factors that has helped me remain clean. But now my routine has been thrown off, so I still wake up at the same time every day at 4 a.m. and have my personal time with God and reading and prayer. And before everything changed, it seemed like my schedule consisted of going to the gym at 5:30. And then I would come back and take my dogs for a walk and then come back home, and then I would start my day. Now, what I've experienced and the way that we're having to live right now is by limiting or completely changing my routine is how much I equated being busy to having peace. My daily routine seemed to provide this external peace in my life, that I knew what was coming up for the whole day. I had everything planned out, which then seemed to give me this sense of internal peace because I knew what was going on. Now, it may not be in the daily routine that you find peace. It might be in your job or career, and now that looks so different. You might find peace in social interaction, and that's different for everyone. Or maybe it was purchasing power that provided peace for you. Now, that's different. Or maybe this is the fact that you had freedom to do what you want when you want it. That's where your peace comes from, and now that's different for everyone. See, when our schedules are full, we take for granted where peace actually comes from. It's really easy to react to things instead of slowing down to see if we actually get to experience the peace that the Bible says we can have. It's so easy to fill our lives with more things to do, more places to be, more obligations to meet. And by doing so, we have replaced the peace that Jesus not only wants to give us, but he says that we can have. And by slowing down, it is forcing us to take a look at and deal with everything that's going on within us. And so for our time together, I just want to kind of walk us through these 4 verses to encourage us that peace is possible, regardless of what we face in life. Now, in verses 1 and 2, David starts out that God is his shepherd. In the same way that a shepherd cares for his flock, that the creator God of the universe cares for his people. I don't know any shepherds, but I do know a little bit about livestock. My grandfather had cattle growing up. So my cousins and I, we were cheap labor, and this is what we done during the summers was work for him. Livestock's a lot of work. You got to make sure there's pastures for them to graze on, and then make sure they had water. And probably the two biggest things that I took away from that experience is one, that getting into an electric fence hurts. And you're more than likely to get killed by a mad mama cow than you are a bull. There's been twice in my life that I have actually ran for my life, literally. And it was once from a bull and once from a mad cow. So when we talk about sheep, now shepherds are the lifeline of sheep. They would take them out early in the morning, let them graze on grass, and then they would lead them beside still water, slow-moving water for their safety. And then after they had them out, they would bring them back into a fenced-in area, and they would keep an eye on them to keep them safe from predators or for those who wanted to steal them. See, sheep are completely defenseless, and they're such easy prey. And with everything going on around us right now, it's really brought to light how powerless we truly are. And just like the sheep, that we need someone to look out after us to make sure that we're going to be all right. And this is exactly what David is praising God for, that he provides all his needs, and the experience right now really allows us to see what we think we need versus what we really need. See, David is not only praising God for his provision, but he's praising God for his presence. That God's presence alone provides peace in our life. And that's why he says that he leads me beside still waters. See, not only does God provide peace, but God provides restoration for our soul. That it's in rest found in him that we experience peace. So one of the issues with cramming things into our daily lives is we don't realize how much we need to be refreshed. We just think we may need a break or a day off or a weekend getaway or even a vacation. I don't know about you. There's been moments when I go on vacation only to come back and need a couple extra days to rest from a time that I designated that I needed to rest, which should show us there's so much more going on at the soul level, that our souls need to find rest. One of the difficult things about what we're living through with this virus is the unknown. And see, no one has experienced life living in the pandemic. And walking to the unknown is just like walking into the dark. And so I'll go ahead and I'll just be honest. I'm easily spooked at night. And for a couple of reasons. One is because growing up, I watched Unsolved Mysteries. I can still hear Robert Stack's voice and get heebie-jeebies. And another reason is because I have an overactive imagination. I can take a situation and go from 0 to 100 in 0.8 seconds. That I always think that someone's in the shadows or something is waiting to jump out and grab me. And so here we have David praising God that no matter what he's going through, that he knows that God is always with him. And no matter if he's traveling through darkness or through the unknown, he doesn't fear anything because God's with him. The same thing is true for you if you have a relationship with Jesus. And no matter what you go through in this life, you are not alone. And it doesn't matter if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't matter what you face, what you experience, a situation or a circumstance. We're not alone. And there is peace knowing that you're not alone, regardless of what you go through. See, we have the promise not only to be protected, but to be comforted. In other words, that we're able to find and experience peace regardless of what we walk through. Though sometimes God will remove things in our life that we believe that we had to have. And it's not because he's cruel, and it's not because he's angry. It's to show us sometimes that he will strip things away where it seems we have nothing, to show us that we have everything that we need in him, that God is enough regardless of the situation that we're in. If you think about death, death is the great unknown. And I've heard people talk about death is the one thing that we all have to experience alone or by ourselves. That's not what David says. David says even in the moment we face death that we are not alone, that God is willing to walk through that with us. Again, it means that whatever we face right now, in the here and now and beyond, that we're not alone, and nor will we ever be. And that's just comforting. Because the absence of peace in our lives, it's amazing how quickly anxiety and fear would take its place. So why does God do all this? Why does God protect us, lead us, guide us, provide peace for us in any and all situations? It's found in the end of verse 3. It's for his name's sake. This is great news, that God's character and power and majesty are tied to his name. That when he makes the promise to lead and guide us, to provide peace and to restore our souls, the promise to walk this life with us regardless of what we go through. Because his name is inseparable from who he is and what he does. That he is the great I am. He is the one that created everything seen and unseen. And he holds the whole creative order together in the universe by his word. That even death itself does not remove us from his presence. That he alone is able to satisfy every need we have. See, you and I, we were created to have a relationship with him. It's really easy to make promises. It's a completely different thing to try to keep them. See, you and I, we do not have the ability to keep every promise we have made or we will. Because the truth is, we do not know what waits on us tomorrow. So any guarantee that we make past the right now, we can't keep it. Only God is able to do that. See, because God is unchanging. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. God is the one consistent thing in this life. And peace can be found in consistency. And that's what God provides for us. That if he was with you in the past, you can count on him to be with you in the here and now and the future. That if he provided for you in the past, that you can count on him to provide for you right now into the future. And that you're never alone, regardless of what you go through, regardless of what's happening around us, or even in those moments when we tell ourselves that we're all alone in this world, that he's always been there and he always will. If you don't get anything else from today, I want you to get this. The darker the times that we walk in, the closer God is to us. So what proof do we have? What proof do we have that God is still with me, or God will always provide for me and be with me in the moments of uncertainty? In Luke chapter 15, Jesus is speaking to this group, and they draw close to him. And the group is full of outsiders and people who are despised and looked down upon, the people neglected. They're on the fringe of society. And also those are getting close to him is also the religious leaders of the day. So in Luke 15, Jesus tells 3 parables back to back to back. And he's given people a glimpse into the character and nature of who God actually is. In the first parable that he tells about a shepherd who had 100 sheep. But one of the sheep, they gets away and runs off. So the shepherd, he leaves the 99. He goes and search for the one. So he's searching and searching until he finds it. When he finds the sheep, he picks it up and he lays it across his shoulders to give the assurance that he's going to make it home, that the shepherd himself is going to carry the sheep back to the fold. And then when he arrives back with the other sheep, he calls his neighbors and says, hey, you need to celebrate with me that I found my lost sheep. So if Jesus came and took to the effort to pursue us when we wanted nothing to do with him, when we turned our backs on him and we chose to live for everything other than him, in those moments that he loved us and we didn't love him back. In John chapter 10, Jesus says that he is the good shepherd and that the good shepherd would lay down his life for the sheep. And then in verse 10, Jesus said, listen, I came that you might have life and have it abundantly. In other words, you're not living without him. That what he came to provide you a life. He came to provide you peace and purpose and joy. This is why he came for you. When Jesus was beat and humiliated and tortured and then nailed to the cross, he had you and I in mind. He did all that for us so that we could have a relationship with him. If he endured all of that, then you and I will have the assurance that he will walk with us now. That when we cry out in fear and anxiety, that he will answer us with his presence. That you are not alone right now and you will never be alone. That even death itself does not separate you from his love. It's in our walk with him where we experience true peace. And you can have that today. What do you need this morning? Do you need your soul to be restored? Do you need restoration? Do you need rest? Do you need peace? It's in the moments of uncertainty where we find out where we're trying to get peace from. And it's not Jesus this abandoning you. He's been there the whole time. He's saying, hey, why don't you give me a chance to provide you peace, to provide you purpose and joy. Whatever you're searching for, I can provide for you because I'm the good shepherd. Or maybe you need to experience this peace for the first time, and that's to begin a relationship with Jesus. And I want to give you that offer this morning that you can have that. And I just invite you to say this prayer, and it's not magic words, but it may help verbalize what God is doing in your life. And it's to simply say, Jesus, forgive me my sins and save me. and help me live for you the very best that I can from this day forward. Did you just say that prayer? Because if you did, we want to know about it, because it's the greatest decision that you can ever make. And if you made any kind of decision, would you let us know in the comments below? Because we would love to come up beside you and serve you and love you and do this life with you, because you just took the first step, and we want to try to help you in your walk. There's so much more for you to experience here. Regardless of what we're going through, there is peace and there is joy, and you are loved unconditionally in this moment.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our online service. We hope you got a blessing from it. If so, hit the like and share button down below, and don't forget to leave a comment.
If you would like to support and give to this ministry, you can download our app or go online to www.summitky.org. Choose Summit Whitesburg. It's a safe, secure way that you can give. Again, thank you for watching, and God bless.